Hello, students. I hope you are fine. So, in this video, we will talk about your first chapter of science, that is matter in our surroundings. So, let's wait for 1 minute so that students can come and connect with the class. Hello, Ashleen. Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, Aman, for coming. So, let's start the chapter first matter in our surroundings. So I hope that you have watched the video which I have sent you on the Google Classroom. So here we will discuss about the matter. Today's topic will be characteristics of matter, properties of matter, and types of matter. So let's start first. What is matter? Matter can be anything which occupies space and have its mass. It can be, for example, it can be a pen, a desk, a book. There are many examples around you which has mass and occupy space. So this is what is matter. So now next question is how the matter made up of. Good afternoon, Karan. So question is how the matter made up of. So matter is made up of the small particles which we call atoms, and there are some characteristics of the particles of matter. So we will talk about the characteristics of particles of matter. So first characteristics of particle of matter is particles of matter have space between them. Now how we can prove that ki particles matter in the particles have space between them? So to know about this, we can do one thing. We can do one experiment, little bit experiment you also can do at your home. Like we have to take the one beaker and we have to add the sugar in that. With the help of spoon we can dissolve the sugar, but after some time we will see that sugar is completely dissolved in water. Or you also can take the salt. So what we will see, sugar and salt is completely dissolved in water. So question rises in the mind is that where the sugar is. The answer is liquid is a type of matter and the particles have the space in between them. When we put the sugar in the beaker and with the help of spoon we rotate it, then sugar dissolve or sugar fix in that space of the particles which are in the liquid. So this activity shows that the particles have the space in between them. This is the first characteristics of the particles of matter, that they have the space in between them. Second property of matter is matter particles of matter are continuously moving. So how we can prove that? So to prove this, what we can do again one another activity. That is very easy, simple. We have to take the incense stick. Incense sticks mean agarbatti, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਮ ਹੀ ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ use ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. So you can see if you are burning an incense stick in the one side of the room or in the corner, you can see that and its smell is going outside the room also and it is spreading in all the room. How is this possible? What is the reason behind this? The simple reason behind this is that the particles present in the air and the gas which is coming or the flame which is coming out of from the incense stick, they both are mixed. As we know that air has the particles and they are continuously moving, and when the gas is mixed with that air particles. As they are continuously moving, they are shifting their place. So it means that with the help of the particles, these particles, intrinsic smell is going in the room and outside the room also. So this is the second characteristics of the matter, that is the particles are continuously moving. So we will talk about, no worry Sukman if you are late, don't worry. So third property of matter is particles of matter attract each other. So particles of matter attract each other. How we can prove that? So before telling you about this, I want to tell you one thing. There are three types of matter: solid, liquid and gases. If we will talk about the example of wood, and we can see that wood is very hard, and if we put our hand on them, then it will, we just touch that, it will apply force on our hand. It means the particles in the solids are tightly packed, they have no space in between them. But if we talk about the liquids, and if we put our hand in the water, then what we will feel, we have to apply some force to move our hand in the water. What it shows? It shows that particles in the water, they have this space in between them, but they are attracting each other, so that's why we have to apply our force when we have to move our hand in the water. But if we talk about the gas, or if we talk about the air, as you can see, I can move my hand in the air very easily. So what it shows? It shows that particles present in the air have the particles, but they are very far away from each other. They have the force of attraction, but there is a very less force of attraction. We will talk about this more detail in the next topic. So first of all, we talk about the matter. Matter is anything which has mass and occupies space. And second thing, we talk about the characteristics of the particles of matter. First characteristics was particles of matter have space between them. We also have know about the activity which you can do also at your home. And second was particles are continuously moving, and we also have done the activity for that. And third was the particles of matter attract each other. So I also give example of for that. So next we are going to talk about states of matter. So the question first arises here, why there are different states of matter. The different states of matters are because due to the variations in the characteristics of particles of matter. Variations mean differentiations, changes. So it means that particles of the matter have the variations. So that's why there are the different states of matter. So we will talk about first solid, after that liquid, and after that gases. So first of all, we will talk about the solid and its properties. As you all know that what is solid? Anything which is very rigid, that is called the solid. And we also know that solids have their fixed shape and volume. So I'm going to describe some properties of the solids. Like first is particles which are present in the solids, they are very close to each other. So that's why they have the exact shape and exact volume and exact size. So the main reason behind the solid rigidity is that the particles present in the solids, they have very closer to each other, and as they are very close to each other, they have these strong attractive forces. If the particles are very far away from each other, so it means that there is a less force of attraction between the particles. So next question is, solids have fixed position. Particles of solids have fixed position. So as they are very close to each other, they have the very high force of attraction. So it means that they have the fixed position. The particles in the solids cannot move from one place to another, as the liquids and gases can do. Then after that, next property of solid is kinetic energy is very small. You have read in the previous classes what is kinetic energy, but I want to tell you here about the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is a type of energy which occur due to the motion. So as we know that solid particles are very close to each other. They have high force of attraction between each other. So it means that there is no any kind of motion. So it means that kinetic energy is very less or very small in the solids. And also is solid have high density, and due to the high density, so it means high density because there is a high intermolecular forces and there is a less intermolecular spaces. I am speak two words, intermolecular spaces and intermolecular forces. Intermolecular spaces mean space between the two particles of matter, like in solids. And intermolecular forces mean forces which are acting in the two particles of matter. So I hope you understand about the properties of matter in the solids. So next we are going to talk about the liquids. So I hope that you can differentiate some points by yourself in the solids and liquids. So next let's start about the liquids. Liquids are also known as the fluid because they are less rigid and they are capable of flowing. Due to this capability of the liquids, they are also known as the fluid. And also the simple example or common example you can take of the fluid is water. Water is also a fluid. We can see water can easily move, it is less rigid. So let's start the properties of liquids. So liquids have the definite mass and volume but not definite shape. Why not definite shape? We know that if we have the glass and I put some water in the glass, then it means that water have now in the shape of the glass. If I take a one ball and put that water in the ball, it means that now the shape of that liquid is changed because the container which are used to hold that liquid, the shape of that container is changed, but the volume and the mass of that is same, but only the difference is here, that is shape is changed. So next is, as liquids are less rigid than the solids and they are capable of flowing, and next is less density than the solids. Why there is a less density than the solids? Because we already talk about that solids have large intermolecular forces and less intermolecular spaces. So it means that why the liquids have less density, because the particles present in the liquids have the less intermolecular space, sorry, high intermolecular spaces, and they have the little bit less intermolecular forces than the solids. And next point is, we also can convert liquids by cooling. That is, if we take the example of this, then when we take the water, and this is very common example in the summer, so we have to take the water, and when we put that water in the refrigerator, then what will happen? We will see after some time that liquid is converted into the solid, it means in the ice. And we can also convert liquids into gases by heating them. If we'll take the example of that, when we start making the tea, then we take some water and put it on the fire, and after some time we'll see that there are the little bit water vapors that are coming out from that container. So it means that we also can convert the liquid in the solid by cooling them, and we can convert the gas into gas by heating them. So these are the some properties of the liquids. So now next is third state of matter is gas. So gas, we will talk about the gas. Gas has the larger intermolecular space amongst three states of matter. Gases is the one of the important because it has the largest intermolecular space, and as there is a larger intermolecular spaces, then it means that there is a very less intermolecular attraction between the particles. So force of attraction we can say is very negligible or very small, because I want to give you one example of this. That is, these are the two particles. As if you take the example of solids, then they will be very tightly packed. There is a no intermolecular space between them. And if we will talk, it means that there is a high intermolecular attraction between them. If we will take the example of liquids, and it means that in liquid there will be the little bit difference between them, like this one. And it means that as the particles are moving away from each other, it means that there is a less force of attraction between them. If you talk about the gas, it means that they are very far away from each other, and as they are going far away from each other, there is a less force of attraction between them. And we know that gases are not rigid. We can compress the gas easily, and gases can also flow easily. And if we talk about the property of density, the density is very small or very less. Why density is less? You can ask from yourself, because I already explained ki why, on what factor density depend. Density depend upon the intermolecular spaces between the particles. So this was about the today lecture. So I want to review all the topics which we discussed in this video. So first we talk about the matter. We are talking about the first chapter of the ninth class, that is chapter matter in our surrounding. We talk about the matter. Matter is anything which have space, which have the which occupy space and have mass. And after that we clear the question ki how the matter is made up of. Matter is made of the particles, which we call the atoms or molecules. Molecules or atoms we will read in the next chapter. So after that we discuss about the characteristics of the particles. So first characteristics was कि particles of the matter have space between them. After that, second characteristic was the matter are continuously particles of a matter are continuously moving. And third characteristic was particles of matter attract each other. Then after that we discuss about the activities which we have proved to do this. Then after that we start talking about the states of matter and its properties. So we have done the properties, and I hope now you can differentiate the question. If there is a question that differentiate between the properties of solid, liquid and gases, you can take the some important points, like you can take the rigidity point. You can explain it in the solids, in the liquid and in the gases. As you can do like this, solids are very rigid. Why they are rigid, you can give the reason. Then liquids are less rigid, they can flow easily, and also no rigidity in the gases. And also you can take the other properties like intermolecular spaces, force of attraction, shape, size, volume, kinetic energy. So I forget the point, that is kinetic energy in liquid. So as there is a differentiate or there is a space between the particles of the matter in liquid. So what it means? It means that the particles now can move from one place to another. So it means that as compared to the solid, liquid have high kinetic energy. But if we'll talk about the gases, then gases, particles in the gases are very far away from each other. So it means that particles can move anywhere. So it means that they have the higher kinetic energy than both of the solids and liquids. So if you have any question, you can comment here, or you can send me the email so that I can give your answers in the next lecture, or we can discuss in the Google Classroom app. So thank you, students. Please stay at your home, stay safe. Thank you very much.
एक ही अभी